Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin tabbil kulu ve devaiha ve afiyetil ebdan ve şifaiha ve nurul ebtar ve ziyaiha ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ve sellem. Ninth remedy, O sick person who recognizes his creator. Illness gives rise to pain, fear, and anxiety because it sometimes leads to death. Since superficially and to the heedless death is terrifying, illnesses which may lead to it cause fear and apprehension. So know firstly and believe firmly that the appointed hour is determined and does not change. Those weeping beside the grievously sick and those in perfect health have died, while the grievously sick have been cured and lived. Secondly, that is not terrifying, as it appears to be superficially. Through the light afforded by the all-wise Quran, in many parts of the Risale-i-Nur, we have proved in completely certain and indubitable fashion that for believers, that is to be discharged from the burdensome duties of life. For them, it's a rest from worship, which forms the instruction and training in the arena of trial of this world. It's also a means of their rejoining friends and relations, 99 out of 100 of whom have already departed for the next world. It's a means of entering their true homeland and eternal abodes of happiness. It's also an invitation to the gardens of paradise from the dungeon of this world. And it is a time they receive their wage from the munificence of the most compassionate Creator in return for service rendered to Him. Since the reality of that is this, it should be regarded not as terrifying, but on the contrary, as the introduction to mercy and happiness. Moreover, some of the people of Allah have feared death, not out of terror at it, but because they hope to gain additional merit by performing more good works with the duties of life containing. Yes, for the people of belief, that is the door to divine mercy, while for the people of misguidance, it's the pit of everlasting darkness.
Yes, this ninth remedy, focusing on death, because the illnesses, they are reminding us death. And what is the reality of death, which is, yes, scaring us, frightening us very, fiercely. So this coronavirus also mostly, because of it is causing death, even if it is 2% or 4%, however, how much is it? It is, so it is, frightening people, causing that much of fear and apprehension. So the reality of death very beautifully explained. Rasulullah ﷺ, he is defining that أكثروا ذكر هادم اللذات, so reminding us that we should remember it continuously, repeatedly, so that it will make us get prepared for the hereafter, the real aim of our creation. So regarding this ninth point, anything comes to mind?
Before the real face of that is beautiful, it is explained. But before that, if anybody is ill, that doesn't mean that he will die.
Yeah.
Then illness and the death is not just matched each other. Yeah, he was mentioning here that appointed hour is determined, it's fixed, it cannot change, it doesn't change. There were some people who were weeping beside the grievously sick ones. Those ones died, but the sick one, the grievously sick, have been cured and lived. Okay, that means that any sick person, any illness, any sickness doesn't kill or doesn't make you die. But if appointed hour is reached to you, then you will die. Yeah, I think, first of all, this must be understood, realized very well in our reasoning.
Every illness doesn't cause death, but it is scaring us. It is reminding us death, which is apparently very ugly. The face of the death is very cold. It is very dark. It seems to be our evil commanding soul. So that we are mostly afraid of death. But when we learn the real meaning, so we should learn. So in the seventh word, while explaining our impotence and poverty, those who understood their impotence and poverty, so before their death coming, they wanted to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a degree. There are many degrees in humanity of this understanding of death. So, but at least we know that if the appointed hour came, so nothing can prevent us from going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's certain. It will not go further if it will not go earlier. So Allah's determining will happen. Al-mawt haqqun, the death is reality.
So
okay.
Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
Okay, please go on.
Yeah, as you said earlier, that is, as you started explaining in other parts of your Salinur, Azrael is a veil to Allah, and also sickness is a veil for Azrael. So actually, Allah is taking our life away. So it's not the sickness that is killing us. So if we know that reality, then we shouldn't scare from sickness, because it's not because of sickness we are going to die. Those are just a veil for the manifestation of Allah, for the manifestation of the name of Allah.
In the second chapter of the 29th Flash, at the front aspect, there was an explanation regarding this phase of the death. The philosophy and the belief, the people of the philosophy and the people of the belief, how they look at the things, it's explained here. At the front aspect, he states here that if a person who indulges in philosophy looks at this aspect, he sees that all living creatures, whether human or animal, are rapidly disappearing group by group. That is to say, they are departing for non-being and ceasing to exist. Since he knows that he too is a traveler on that road, he goes out of his mind with grief. But for a believer, looking with the eye of belief, man journeying to that aspect are not passing to world of non-existence. They are being transferred from one posture to another like nomads. and migrating from a transitory realm to an everlasting one, and from a form of service and labor to the wages of faith, and from a country of hardship and difficulty to one of plenty and ease. The believer meets this aspect with pleasure and gratitude. Difficulties which occur on the road, like death and the grave, are sources of happiness by reason of their results. For the road which leads to the luminous worlds passes through the grave. For the road which leads to the luminous worlds passes through the grave. And the greatest happiness is the result of the worst, most grievous disasters. Now, the greatest happiness is the result of the worst, most grievous disasters. For example, Yusuf alayhi salam attained the happiness of being Aziz of Egypt only by way of being thrown into the well by his brothers and cast into prison at the slanders of Zuleika. In the same way, a child coming into the world from his mother's womb only reaches the happiness of this world as a result of the excruciating, crushing difficulties he experiences on the way.
Thank you, Nebavi. Yes, the difficulties all the life, they are all leading us to some perfections, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us those difficulties. The death is also it is leading us to eternal realm, to get the eternal bounties. We should pass from that door. It is inevitable. It is. It will. The death is. It's like a door. To the higher bounties for the believers. Alhamdulillah. May Allah give us strength to get prepared accordingly for the bounties behind the door of the death. Any other comments from brothers? Avis, would you like to share anything?
Just I want to read one sentence from another part of Risale-i Nur about that. In 26th flash and from 8 hope about that. I looked in the face of death, which is imagined to be most terrible and terrifies everyone. Through the light of the Quran, I saw that although its veil is black, dark, and ugly, for believers, its true face is luminous and beautiful. And yes, we have fear for that, for sickness, because of some sickness result in death. But if we understand the real meaning of death and the true face of death, our all fears will be removed, inshallah. And its true face, that of the veil of death, the true face is luminous and beautiful, especially for believers.
Yes.
In different parts of Risale-i Nur, it is the real face of death and the meaning of death has been proved.
Alhamdulillah. One brother was telling something. it came to my mind. I told it in the seventh word. Ustad says, the death is taking us from the prison of this world to the gardens of paradise, to the presence of the most merciful one, Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's because of this that the wise, the Kamilin, the wise people who have seen death reality, have loved it, they have wanted it before it came. So this is, in one hand, we have this meaning. On the other hand, the other Kamilin, some people of God, Ahlullah, fearing death has not been out of terror at it, but due to their hope of gaining more merit through performing more good works with the continuation of the duties of life. So this is, I think, with the degree of our preparedness for the hereafter. So maybe it's related with the spiritual condition of human beings. Some wants to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as soon as possible. The others, they want to get prepared more. Because of that, they want it not to come earlier. Of course, it doesn't come earlier, but the appointed hour is frightening us, being not prepared, considering that we are not prepared. So regarding this, Rasulullah ﷺ, he says, praying our salah as if our last prayer, our last salah. So always getting prepared for the death, being prepared that Allah knows the our appointed hour. So every day, this is my last day. So this is also another narration. The wise man works for the hereafter as if he will die today, and also works for the worldly life as if they will not die eternally. But this working, of course, working for the worldly life, it is in terms of two phases of the worldly life, seeing it as a mirror to the Asma Ilahiyya, or it's a tillage, arable field of the hereafter. In that respect, working. Yes, these meanings came to my mind. If you want to share anything, we can here, inshallah.
As far as I know, I think there is one hadith regarding the request of the death. I think Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommend the believers do not request the death. I think there is but if it comes, then people of belief will see that inshallah it is the door of the divine mercy, inshallah.
That's right, Abi. Thank you. Shall we continue the 10th remedy? If there is no other comment on this, any question with the about the 9th remedy? If not, we can continue with the 10th. Brother Sami, if you are available, we would like to hear your reading. Alaykum salam.
Bismillah. O sick person who worries unnecessarily, you worry at the severity of your illness, and that worry exacerbates it. If you want your illness to be less severe, try not to worry. That is, think of the benefits of your illness, the recompense for it, and that it will pass quickly. It will remove the worry and cut the illness at the root. In fact, worry doubles the illness, for it causes an immaterial illness of the heart underlying the physical illness. The physical illness subsists through that and persists. If the worry ceases through submission, contentment, and comprehension of the reason for the illness, a large part of the illness is eradicated. It becomes less severe and in part disappears. Sometimes a minor physical illness increases tenfold just through anxiety. If the anxiety ceases, 9/10 of the illness disappears. Worry increases illness. It is also an accusation against divine wisdom and a criticism of divine mercy and a complaint against the compassionate creator. For this reason, the person who worries receives a rebuff and it increases his illness contrary to his intentions. Yes, just as thanks increases bounty, so complaint increases illness and tribulations. Furthermore, worry is itself an illness. Its cure is to recognize the wisdom in illness and its purpose. Since you have now learned these, apply the salve to your worry and find relief. Say ah instead of oh, and all praise be to God for every situation instead of sighing and lamenting.
We can maybe read this remedy again, one more. It's a little bit,
Sure.
deep.
Sure. You want me to read it again?
Yeah, you can read.
Yeah. Okay. O sick person who worries unnecessarily, you worry at the severity of your illness, and that worry exacerbates it. If you want your illness to be less severe, try not to worry. That is, think of the benefits of your illness, the recompense for it, and that it will pass quickly. It will remove the worry and cut the illness at the root. In fact, worry doubles the illness, for it causes an immaterial illness of the heart underlying the physical illness. The physical illness subsists through that and persists. If the worry ceases through submission, contentment, and comprehension of the reason for the illness, a large part of the illness is eradicated. It becomes less severe and in part disappears. Sometimes a minor physical illness increases tenfold just through anxiety. If the anxiety ceases, 9/10 of the illness disappears. Worry increases illness. It is also an accusation against divine wisdom and a criticism of divine mercy and complaint against the compassionate creator. For this reason, the person who worries receives a rebuff, and it increases his illness contrary to his intention. Yes, just as thanks increases bounty, so complaint increases illness and tribulations. Furthermore, worry is itself an illness. Its cure is to recognize the wisdom in illness and its purpose. Since you have now learned these, apply the salve to your worry and find relief. Say ah instead of oh, and all praise be to God for every situation instead of sighing and lamenting.
Thank you, Sam Abi. So this 10th remedy is regarding worry, anxiety coming from the illnesses. The spiritual, maybe it's a kind of spiritual illness, and it is also causing the physical illness to continue, maybe to get worse because of the anxiety to, what will happen, wondering it, so worrying sorrowfully, grievously. So in the 20th word, studies explaining 21st word, explaining the scruples coming from shaitan. So this kind of anxiety is also shaitan is benefiting from this kind of worries, anxieties, causing us to go worse, to get worse in terms of physical illnesses. So studies showing us a remedy for them in the 21st words in the scruples waswasa part is so not thinking of that, not focusing on that worry, on that anxiety, knowing the this root of the anxiety, the worry, it will help us much. Also, we will be saved from the accusing the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the cure is to know the wisdom in illness and purpose of it. So if we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all merciful and giving that illness for us, maybe a test for us, for our patients, for our whether we will be continue making shukr, thanks. So if we know that, so the inshallah it will be cured, that anxiety, that worry. Regarding this, anything comes to mind, please let's share, inshallah.
Sometimes it is asked by someone, okay, we shouldn't worry about our sickness, but at the same time, we have to take precaution. How can we make balance between worry and precaution?
It's it's not opposite to taking precautions, worry. So the worry is meaningless in terms of benefits. It doesn't benefit the illness decreases or lessens. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaching us the wisdom of illness, and also using medicines, for example, it's a kind of dua, taking precaution. So the illnesses are causing us to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the same time finding the remedies, cures. It's also for wishing the shifa, requesting shifa from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's also a kind of dua. So these are not opposite to one another, doesn't eliminate worry. We should not worry, because we should know that it is under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we know Allah, He is all merciful, He is all wise, we should not worry. But of course, the wisdom of Allah requires for us to also to take precautions against illnesses. We don't want, for example, illness. We don't. If Allah gives us, so we act accordingly with the wisdom of Allah. Maybe the other rabbis can answer also more beautifully. Or I can ask
at 20 Remedy, there was a statement there at 20 Remedy, the all-wise and glorious healer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has stored up in his mighty pharmacy of the earth a cure for every illness. It is licit to obtain medicines and use them as treatment, but one should know that their effect and the cure are from Almighty Allah. He both gives the ailment and provides the cure at the same time. Following the recommendations of skillful, God-fearing doctors is an effective medicine. Then, okay, I think just at the causes arena, since this world is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is acting with causes. Yeah, we should apply the causes. Then applying the causes like medicine, like the skillful doctor, is a kind of active prayer. But we should always remember and keep in mind that the cure comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. And at the same time, worrying itself is a kind of illness, as it's stated here. Now, most of the doctors are expressing that worry itself is decreasing the immune system, weakening the immune system of the human. Then that means that, worry itself is really an illness, since when it is decreasing the immune system strength, then the individual will be open to the illness. Easily he can be sick. Therefore, worry itself, we should apply the causes, but we should not worry about the sickness at the same time. There must be a compromise over there.
Yes, thank you, Abi. That 20th remedy also more or less taking the same topic, similar topic, let's say. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving shifa through our active prayer, dua fi'li. So he is the one who gives medicines their properties, their qualities. So we are making medicines, but they are lifeless materials. Whatever it is, ingredients, they are lifeless. So making them a useful result, coming out of a useful result, is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the true healer. He is Shafi. He is giving the effects of the medicines together with, as he created everything, he creates the effects of the medicines. So knowing this, it will take us to taking precautions and waiting for the results, anticipating the results from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, not from the doctor or not from the lifeless consciousness medicines. So Allah wants from us that consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we know that he is the real creator, real true Shafi healer. Erdinç abi, your question was like that?
Yes, I got the answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe we can misunderstand the question. You can repeat it. Yes. So we can continue if there is another comment. In fact, one friend asked regarding the 9th remedy. It is said that death is a rest from worship. That is the form of instruction and training. This worldly life, Allah sent us as an instruction training in this world. Our friend asked, what is the function of worship in the intermediate realm? Regarding this question, the function of worship in the intermediate realm, if I didn't misunderstand the question, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the duty of worship in this worldly life. So that's duty of worship finishes with the death. It's a kind of end of our duties. In the intermediate realm, there is a continuance of our amals in this worldly life, whatever we have done, we are showing the results to some extent. Yeah, it's a world of punishment, or before the akhirah, before the eternal realm. Yes. So maybe our friend is asking, do we have any worship in the intermediate realm? If this world is the arena of worship and knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do you have any idea about this? The function of worship in the intermediate realm? Do we have any worship? Of course, we will continue. The believers will continue. It came to my mind. Believers will continue, glorifying Allah, praising Allah in the intermediate realm also. It came to my mind. Nebi abi, do you have any idea regarding this?
Regarding what?
Yeah, our friend asked, will we have in the intermediate realm? Is there any worship?
Oh, as far as I know, not, since worship is training here. Now
Yeah.
training will be over when the appointed hour reached us. Then it will be over. But as far as I know, only tafakkur, the reflection, can continue in the intermediate realm, also in the hereafter as well, as far as I know. Since reflection is also a kind of worship,
Yeah.
reflection, tafakkur, then this tafakkur is also providing, spiritual pleasure to ruh, to our spirit. As far as I know, it continues in the intermediate realm and in the hereafter as well, as far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know, the intermediate realm is very similar to this worldly life. There is punishment and there is reward, and this in the intermediate realm, because we hear from, for example, from the dreams, those who are dead, who died, they define that they are in the circles of, for example, Quran circles with the people who died before, with awliyaullah, with maybe with Anbiya and so on. So intermediate realm is a little bit similar to this worldly life, but there is no deity of worship as far as I know. Yeah, we can inshallah pass to the next remedy with that.
I think it's not compulsory, but if anybody wants to do it, I think he can do it.
Yeah.
It's not
So,
compulsory. Yeah, it's
not
a
responsible.
command.
Yes, Abi, thank you. So we are at the 11th remedy. If there is no other comment, with the 10th remedy regarding the worries, groundless worries, which is harming. Yes, the 11th remedy.
Bismillah. You want me to continue? Bismillah, Abi?
Yeah, you can continue. We can read one more remedy, brother.
Oh, my patient, sick brother, although illness causes you an immediate suffering, your illness through the past until today produces a spiritual pleasure and happiness arising from the reward received for enduring it. From today forward, from this hour even, the illness does not exist, and certainly no pain is suffered from non-being. And if there is no pain, there can be no distress. You become impatient because you imagine things wrongly. For both the physical illness prior to today and its pain have departed, and all that remains are its reward and the pleasure at its passing. This should afford you profit and happiness. So to think of past days and feel grieved and impatient is crazy. Future days have not yet arrived. To dwell on them now and to feel upset and impatient by imagining a day that does not exist and an illness that does not exist, and distress that does not exist, is to impart existence to 3 degrees of non-existence. If that is not crazy, what is? If the previous hour was one of illness, it produces joy. And since the time subsequent to the present hour is non-existent, and both the illness and the distress are non-existent, do not scatter the power of patience given you by Almighty God to right and left, but muster it in the face of pain of the present hour. Say, O most patient one, and withstand it.
Yes. Regarding this 11th remedy, it's about patience. Illnesses are giving us a kind of grief, a kind of anxiety. It causes us impatience. But in fact, thinking of the future pains, future illnesses, spending our patience to the for the past, for the future. So start explaining in many parts of the Risale-i Nur. This is extinguishing our, decreasing our patience, causing us weariness, causing us maybe hopelessness, grief. So using the patience for the present time. This is Ustad's, as far as I understand, Ustad's advice for this problem of impatience. Regarding this, any comment, any question comes to mind, we can, inshallah, listen to your points. You mean that it's quite clear?
Since we are all quiet.
Yeah. The silence is, speaks silently. Silence is speaking silently, yes. So, if you want, we can continue with the 12th remedy. If there is no other comment. Nebi abi, would you like to read?
Okay, inshallah. 12th remedy. O sick person who, due to illness, cannot perform his worship and invocations and feels grief at the deprivation, know that it's stated in a hadith, a pious believer who, due to illness, cannot perform his customary invocations receives a reward equal to them. If an ill person performs his obligatory worship as far as it's possible with patience and relying on Allah, the illness takes the place of sunnah worship during that time of severe illness and in sincere form. Moreover, illness makes the person understand his importance and weakness. It causes him to offer supplication both verbally and through the tongue of his importance and weakness. For Almighty Allah bestowed on man a boundless importance and infinite weakness, so that he would perpetually seek refuge at the divine court and beseech and supplicate. The verse. Say, your sustainer would not concern himself with you if it was not for your prayers. Has the meaning, what importance would you have if you did not offer prayer and supplication? According to this, Sincere prayer and supplication are the reason for the man's creation and for his value. Since illness is one cause of death, from this point of view, it should not be complained about, but thanks to be offered to Allah for it. And the tap of supplication, which illness opens, should not be closed by regaining health.
Yes, this 12 remedies, regarding the fruits of the illnesses. So some people they worry because of the illnesses. They are deprived of their worship. So Ustad is explaining the narrating the hadith of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. A pious believer who due to illness cannot perform the invocations he normally regularly performs receives an equal reward. So it means that when we know the wisdom of illnesses, it is coming with the with the mercy of Allah, coming from His wisdom. So when we are not able to make it, when we are ill, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the equal sawab of the worshipping, the ibadah we were doing before the illnesses. So this is regarding with the understanding the wisdom behind the illnesses. So it is it's helping us understand our ajz, our impotence, our faqr. We are nothing. We are all needy to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need His mercy. We need His healing. We are powerless. So this is an ibadah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is making us realize this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is causing us to gain the real wisdom of our aim of creation. Yes, this is an important remedy in terms of knowing the wisdom of our illnesses and our aim of creation.
Now, the whole world is now facing such a worldwide calamity, which is this COVID-19. Now, this also giving us such an understanding, I think, to everybody. Then all of you are important, all of you are weak, all of you are poor before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe individually this can also be understood, but now whole humanity is experiencing weakness and impotence and poverty at the same time.
Thank you, Abi. It came to my mind in the second ray, Ustad is explaining the hadith, the salawat of Rasulullah sallallahu he's saying that Allah SWT has created us very comprehensively, and our comprehensive nature. Because of this comprehensive nature, we are in need of Allah SWT every moment. We are entreating His our Lord, seeking refuge with Him, and offering Him thanks and praise. Just as illnesses are the most effective whip driving us to the divine court, to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we are able to benefit from this, we will reach a higher station. We will reach a higher station in the court of Allah when we understand this meaning. This
Jazmabi, stop speaking. Yes, Jazmabi, you were saying something. Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I want to ask two questions. I will ask the first of it, firstly, and secondly, maybe after answering it. At the end of second paragraph, Ustaz says, the illness takes the place of sunnah worship during the time of severe illness and in sincere form. Here, for example, we were praying Friday prayers every Friday, but nowadays we are not able to do it. Is it counted like that? Like, do we gain Friday prayer sawab every Friday again?
Yes, Abis who are experts on theology.
I'm engineer. Unfortunately, I'm not expert on theology. If anybody is expert on theology, then he must speak regarding with this question.
Yeah, I only say Allahu alam bis-sawab. Allah knows the best. This is a different condition. Yeah, this is because not all of us ill, but the conditions requiring that, yeah, we should, yeah, take precautions in order. Yeah, this is, yeah, also the command of Rasulullah sallam. Yeah, taking precautions during a plague. So Allah knows the best. But there is a hadith of Rasulullah sallam. Yeah, we shared maybe in the groups you have seen. During a plague, staying in your place and not going out. Those who are even not ill and couldn't, they were those who are not infected with the plague, so they also gain the spiritual thawab of a martyrdom. So this is the hadith of Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. So there is a reward. There is a reward, but can it, yeah, give the thawab of Jumu'ah prayer that we are not able to pray? Allahu alam bis-sawab. La ya'lamu ghayb illallah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the conditions of the individuals. I think, since I'm not the expert, since experts are not talking now, the engineers are talking, unfortunately. Okay, I think it depends on the spirituality of the individuals. If anybody thinks that, oh, there is no Juma prayer, now I am off, then it's good. If he thinks in this manner, I think he will be away. But if he has the intention, then if he is eager, if he is keen, he is eager, then he was requesting. Oh, unfortunately, it's not occurring at the moment. It's not allowed. If it was allowed, if the conditions were okay, I had to pray Juma. Then I think, according to the sincerity, according to the his condition, I think he can take share from those distributed rewards. Yeah, this is my own evaluation. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, Rasulullah alayhi wasallam also he has, yeah, informed, he has given good tidings about this. But what Ustad said here is, yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us, yeah, the rewards of the invocations, the worshipping that we were doing before the illness. Yeah, we will not be deprived of the sawab of those, yeah, invocations, words, yeah, the worshipping. So it's a, I think, different topic. It came to me. Maybe the other abis, those who did not say anything, can tell something. If you like, I can ask. Erdinç abi, did you hear anything? Maybe Brother Muammar, yeah, There are many Abis here. Yeah, I see here the names, but some of Abis I don't know. If you have anything in your mind, please feel free to share regarding Brother Ahmed's question.
I think I confirm Nabi Abi his evaluation. We want to go actually, and we have enthusiasm to go to Salatul Jummah and gather in the mosque, but there are some restriction to go outside, and this is a precaution, and this condition includes also in Islamic rules, as you mentioned the hadith during the plague. Even if someone is not ill, they should prefer to stay in at home, and according to our feelings, our intent. Innamal a'mal binniyat. Actually, we want to go, but we cannot go because of plague, because of outbreak.
Yeah.
I think we hope that we are expecting from the mercy of Allah. Inshallah, He will give a reward, or He will not write down guna sin because of the giving up Salatul Jummah. This is kind of obligation. That's why.
So I think this is clear, right? There is no condition. So Prophet ﷺ not saying if you have that intention or this intention. So hadith is clear. So what is the utmost degree a human being can gain in this world? It is being a shaheed, right? It is the martyrdom. Is there any other degree that we can reach? No. So if hadith says that, then the other things I think is like tafarruat.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Muhammad. That was also very valuable. Being a martyr is a great degree in the court of Allah.
Let me ask this second question. This is at the end of 12th Remedies, last sentence. Reading again, since illness is one cause of this, from this point of view, it should not be complained about, but thanks be offered to Allah for it. And the tap of supplication, which illness opens, should not be closed by regaining health. So how shall we understand this last part of the sentence? And the tap of supplication, which illness opens, should not be closed by regaining health.
I think
an important point came to my mind. I don't know whether it can contain a response to the question. As we all know, Ustad usually in the Rosanu talks about the death of man, our nature, what it contains. And he always says it is ajz, faqr, poverty, weakness. So usually when he talks about these elements of man, he relates this of feel our need more. That means our ibadahs become more sincere, and we, of course, we are getting closer actually to divine court, to his rahmah. So that adds value in our life. If it is contrary, of course, now we are devalued. So it's very important to understand these sicknesses given to us or calamities. They really lead us to understand how weak we are, how impotent we are, because as a result, we manifest his names. And especially in the Ustad, while using this context, he refers to the name that is Samad, because we are all in need of him, but he does not need anything. So when we reflect more, we manifest his names. And when we manifest more of his names, of course, our value is, it goes higher. Just like we know that the most valuable human being is our prophet, because he was really addressed by the manifestation of his names.
Thank you, Saim Abi. Any other comment, any other answer that comes to your mind for the question of Brother Ahmed? Second question. So we can remember in the 7th, it came to my mind in the 17th remedy. Ustad says he's mentioning his chronic illness. Lumbago, he mentions in the 17th remedy. I myself have prayed to be cured from the illness of lumbago from which I suffer for the 30-40 years, he say. However, I understood that the illness had been given for prayer. Since through prayer cannot be removed, that is, since prayer cannot remove itself, I understood that the results of the prayer certain to the hereafter. Yes, while certain illnesses are the reason for the existence of supplication, if the supplication is the cause of the illness's non-existence, the existence of the supplication would be the cause of its own non-existence. And this could not be the case. So that's, it is maybe like Ayyub alayhi salam, he did not he didn't make dua for the curing, for the shifa of his illnesses, till it is harming his worshipping with his tongue, with his heart. So he didn't make a dua for healing. Maybe Ustad may indicate, may allude to this meaning. He is pointing to that meaning. I don't know if other Abis say something.
Yeah, I think Ustad, saying this because illness or sickness giving us some sort of sincerity. Ustad also explaining one part of their Salinur says an anthem word of sincere action much more than 1,000 of without sincerity. So if we can reach that sincerity while we're sick, so it's going to give us a lot of benefits. I think in that sense, illnesses is kind of desirable. Not, we shouldn't ask for illness, but when it comes, we should try to,
Benefits.
understand our weakness, impotence, and then we can reach a level of or sort of sincerity so that our action is become more worthy.
So the tap of supplication, which illness opens, should not be closed by regaining health. So he is maybe focusing in the part to continue to make dua, to continue to make dua. I don't think that it is. Ustad says we should not recover. Ustad says we should continue making dua till after we also recovered. I understand that. So this is the aim of our creation, to understand our weakness, our impotence. So the illnesses are a means of this understanding. So after illnesses also, after we recover from an illness, we should continue making dua. We can understand like that also. The other abis, feel free to share your.
At this ayah, قُلْ مَا يَعْبَأُ بِكُمْ رَبِّي لَوْلَا دُعَاؤُكُمْ. Say your Sustainer would not concern himself if it was not for your prayers. What importance would you have if you did not offer prayer and supplication? Then the illness and the calamities are the conditions we make sincere prayer and supplication during that time. Then therefore it is giving us importance by that way. According to this, sincere prayer and supplication are the reason for man's creation and for his failure. Then the condition of the calamity and the illness is the time of the sincere prayer and supplication. Therefore, since illness is one cause of this, from this point of view, it should not be complained about. Then nobody should complain about the illness, since it is causing a sincere prayer and supplication. But thanks be offered to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. And the tap of supplication which illness opens should not be closed by regaining health.
Also, when Ustad explaining the prayer for rain, he says that drought is the time for rain prayer, right? So if the rain comes, then you don't have to pray anymore because the time is over. So, but if the drought continues, your prayer, your dua also is going to continue. So when you're, when you are sick, you are, insisting on your prayer. But when you get healthy, then you forget it.
So one friend in the chat part, commented on this part. Also, Brother Muammer's last word regarding this. Supplication should not be restricted to the times of illness alone. Supplication should continue, especially after Allah has removed the illness and the person regains good health. So maybe Ustad is focusing at this point. We should continue after recovering, after healed by Allah. We should also continue our aim of creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the value. Our value is with regarding to our dua. So we should not finish the supplicating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even after the illness. That's comes to mind. Thank you for the friend commented on this question. I think Ahmed Onur brother, did you does it make sense for you, the answers for your question?
Maybe
you can.
maybe the asking one also knows. Then he must also comment his question.
I'm asking the brother Ahmed.
I think by commenting we mix his mind, So.
If I would know the answer, I wouldn't ask the question. Some things were coming to my mind, but I was not sure about it. So that's why I asked it to you.
So does it make sense for you what was in your mind and what was the comments coming?
Yeah, very good answers, mashallah, very good. Thank you to Abis, all of them.
No other comment on this question from Abis? If there is no, we can say the talismanic phrases awakens us. I think no other comments coming. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.